How's it going, YouTube? And welcome back to My Comic Life. I think this is episode 19. And if you're new here, My Comic Life is a vlog that comes out Monday through Friday, and I talk about all the comics that I read for the given week. And so, if you like what you see here, please go hit that subscribe button. So this morning, I wake up, and I've heard about this big snowstorm that's coming to Washington. And I was like, oh, alright, it's going to be okay. So, my dog, he's like, I need to go pee. And so I was like, alright, Willie, let's go pee. And I opened the door. And my dog, my little chihuahua, was like, what the fuck is this? And he just turns back to me, he's like, nope, I don't need to go pee now. I just want to go back to bed. And I grab him, take him out there. And he just looked at me like with these eyes like, brrr. And the moment we got back into my house, he just went to the room, and I got the heater on in there, and he's just like, I hate the world today. I just want to stay in bed where it's nice and warm. So, hopefully everybody who is dealing with all the snow that's happening in Washington, be safe. And so, I had the time to read some comics. Last night I read Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Avengers, issue number 14. The Empty Man, issue number 4. Green Lantern, issue number 4. Die, issue number 3. And we'll start talking about Old Man Quill, issue number 1. I have never read any of the Old Man series from Marvel. I've been really intrigued. I heard about how good they are, but I just haven't had the time to do it. And then I see that there's this new number 1, and with it being Peter Quill, I thought this one probably be the most easiest way to get into the series because of his distance away from, let's say, a Hawkeye or a Wolverine. And since he's in the outer space, probably a good place to jump on in. You won't get so much backstory or feel lost with some of the characters they throw in there. And luckily, this book is very much streamlined. It's very much easy to get into. And you just get to see a Quill that is basically, it's like a president of a planet, and he's tasked to protect it. And there's this army that's coming, and they say, hey, we're giving you guys like a week's worth of warnings saying, hey, we're coming, and we're going to destroy you, so if you want, get out now. But we're coming. And the moment comes, and Peter Quill and his army go against their enemies. And you find out about how Peter Quill has his own family, so his children, and he turns around, and when the villain just sipping on their victory cup, Peter Quill gets there, and he's like, what are you doing? Why are you so laid back? Why aren't you ready to fight? And he's like, because the war's already won. And Peter Quill looks and sees that his planet, or his planet basically has been destroyed. His family is dead. All the people that he was tasked to protect are dead. And so we see Peter Quill broken. And he's in cryo sleep now. He only gets up just to get blasted. And you just see a broken man. And then the Guardians of the Galaxy, Gamora, Rocket Raccoon, Drax, they all come because they hear that the war party that destroyed his home, killed his kids, his wife, are coming to Earth. And Peter Quill's like, why would I want to do that? Like, why? I called out to the Avengers to come and help. Nothing. I called out to the X-Men. Nothing. I even called out to you guys, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and you guys never came to my aid. Why should I do this? And then the moment he hears about the people that destroyed his planet are going to destroy Earth, he just wants revenge. And the thing I loved most about this book was when the Guardians of the Galaxy got into the book, and Rocket Raccoon just stole the show. Just seeing Old Man Rocket, or Old Raccoon Rocket, it was so much fun. This story, I could definitely see myself picking up the whole entire series. I think it's probably gonna be like 12 issues, but I definitely see a lot of positives in this issue and for the series going on. So if you're worried and being like, I don't know if I should jump into Old Man Quill, I definitely recommend it. If you like the Guardians of the Galaxy, I recommend it. If you like the movies, I recommend it. And I think it seems like it's got a really good story to tell, and I'm all in. So this book definitely is going on my pull list. Final, and then up, Die, issue number 3. This series, when it first came out with the issue number 1, I was very iffy about it. I felt like it was a ripoff of Jumanji. It definitely is a ripoff of Jumanji, where you have these kids, they're going to play a board game, they get sucked into the world that they're playing, and 18 years later, they come back, and one of their party members is missing. And then later on, they start to live out their lives. Well, the party member that was stuck in Die has left them some packages saying, hey, I'm here, still here, come and help me. So they come back to the world of Die. And issue number 2 to set up, what the big bad villain is. Issue number 3, it feels like we are in like a World War I war story. And it's so beautiful. When you see our main heroes fighting this dragon, the art is just brilliant. The coloring, in particular, is jaw-dropping. And when you see our character right here, now she only has the D4 dice. And usually D4 is like one of the most boring things. But hers power is that she can manipulate emotions. And she could power up somebody through her emotions. And she gets lost, she gets separated from the party, finds herself in a foxhole with a soldier who, in his last dying breaths, is asking her to tell his wife, and so she's writing all this stuff down, about, how much he loves his wife. And it's just some beautiful, beautiful writing. And then like in a token-esque moment, after this soldier dies, this man comes, basically out of the mists, and it's basically the god of the world of Die. And he takes the message, takes the ring off the fallen soldier, and this eagle comes in, and it's so beautiful. And the eagle takes, the message out and to deliver it to the family. And it's some gorgeous stuff. The art and the writing, which is so solid in this issue. And at the end, I won't ruin it, but the ending is not as happy as what you expect. I am so down for Die. Die, it feels like each issue has been something different. Where the first issue was just the introduction. Second issue was more of an introduction, but you see a different side of the world, where it was more of like, the traditional Dungeons and Dragons. Where this one right here was a war comic through and through. I am so intrigued to see where this book goes next. And with each issue, at the end, we have the writer talking about the world and the stuff that he has planned for. It's some really intriguing stuff. Like, this feels like a world that's very well thought out. And he talks about how he's actually creating a board game based on this comic. And so, this is like a comic book series that I'm going to go out and try to pick up every single variant cover. Because when a series I love, I'm like truly starting to love, I want to own every single variant. So it may cost a little pretty penny, but I'm going to go on the hunt and look for it. But it's definitely a comic that I would highly recommend if you're into the Dungeons & Dragons aspect of a story. And then on to Green Lantern, issue number 4. Grant Morris has been one of those writers that either you love him or hate him. And a lot of times, I'm kind of like, oh, okay, this is a little bit too much for me. I just see Grant Morrison talking out of his ass. We're here. This is something really awesome. Every single issue feels like an issue you just pick up right off the stands and not knowing a single thing about it. Or you don't have to know anything about it just to enjoy this one issue. So in this issue, we have this man talking to this guy that has this thing called the Sun Eater. Or he knows about this group that's the Sun Eater. And he's telling the story to this stranger who almost seems like a Jonah Hex type of character. And he's talking about the power of the Sun Eater. And the visuals by Sharp are just out of this world. The art is just gorgeous beyond belief. The writing is solid. It's really solid. And if you just give yourself into the book, you're going to enjoy yourself. This is not a series that's like a traditional Marvel or DC book. It feels like it has an independent flair. A flair that the writer has full control of the book, and he can do whatever he wants. And either you're on board, or you're not. And for me, I am super on board. I am really interested to see the Knights of Light and how they play into the series going forward. Because we've been introduced to some villains throughout the last 4 issues. And I think that in the upcoming months, they'll all start to converge into one another. But I'm really, really intrigued. This is a book I think you should all go into, knowing as little as possible. Just give it a chance. And some of you will be like, nope, this is some more Grant Morrison, talking out of his ass. But for me, I feel like this is like Grant Morrison on his A game. So I really love how there's no continuity for the Green Lantern. No, anything from Jeff Johns' era is not even mentioned here. It's just the Green Lantern. And just it being a police procedural. So I definitely highly recommend this book. Next up, The Empty Man, issue number 4. Colin Bunn, he has his hands in so many pots that it's like amazing, like the horror stories he tells in all these different books, all throughout all these different companies. Now, one thing I was really disappointed was in this copy I got, I didn't even notice, but it's a whole bunch of like white marks from the ink, not setting right on the cover. So I was like, I'm since I really like this series, I'm gonna go and try to get another copy, because this copy I was just like, I wish I would have noticed, but I didn't. So The Empty Man is a really intriguing story. There's been people that have been infected with this Empty Man virus, and they have committed some mutilations, some killings that are just horrific, all in the name of the Empty Man. And this main story takes place with this one family, and the mother has been infected with the Empty Man. And this cult has come to the house saying, "Hey, we can take care of your wife and get her well." And of course, the family's like, "No. We're gonna, try to keep this in the family and, help the mother out or my wife out as much as possible." And then this other group, the FBI, comes into town, and they want to protect the family, keep them all together and just protect them from this cult. And this issue is so action-packed that when these mystical alien type of creatures come out, this horrific alien creatures come out, I was a little disappointed because The Empty Man has been so vague and more about the inner turmoil between us and the conflicts that we create amongst each other, that when we see this manifestation, I was a little disappointed. Now I'm hoping that these creatures that are appearing now are not actually the Empty Man, but like the Empty Man's dogs, basically. Like the dogs that go in there and just try to wreak havoc. Because basically these creatures do seem like, a dog-like creature. And so, I'm hoping that the Empty Man is never actually shown. Because, like, some of the best villains, like Sauron, you never see him. No, you never do. You hear about him and how evil he is. Sometimes you see the eye. But the Empty Man can be anybody, anywhere. And the writing in here is really solid. The visuals are just creepy as, I don't want to say F word, but it's really creepy. This is a series I think a lot of people should give a chance, because if they do, it's some of the best horror that I'm reading today in comics. And now on to my final book, The Avengers, issue number 14. I love Jason Aaron. Jason Aaron, he's one of the best writers in the world of the Marvel and DC, the big two. And so, with me canceling my subscription to Justice League, I really looked into Avengers, being like, hopefully this one's going to give me some character moments. as well as the action. And we get both of that. Like, there's just a well-roundedness to this series. So, this issue has the beginning of the vampire civil war that's happening. And the Avengers are there just to protect humankind as vampires are fighting amongst themselves. And we have Blade in there, and Blade's as badass as always. And then we got this new guy that comes in. And he seems like he's straight out of Killzone with the way he looks. Like, he looks like one of those Hellgas people. And we got some really cool fights, really cool character development, especially between... There's this one sequence where, I forget, I think it is Black Panther and Iron Man, and they're in Wakanda. And you see the vampires coming, and they shoot this beam of light, sunlight, into the... they basically tell them, hey, we don't want to do this, but if you come any closer, we're going to have to. And the whole fight sequence was just absolutely gorgeous. And then to see Captain America protecting this church full of people against the vampires is some beautiful stuff. The whole aspect of Ghost Rider, the new Ghost Rider, and him seeing this like devil-like creature come out, being like, hey, you're not an Avenger. There's a lot of stuff going on in this issue, and it never feels like anybody's lacking any character development. And it's just a really well done book. The art's strong, the writing's strong, the character development is there. This book is giving me everything that I did not get from Justice League. So, thank you, Jason Aaron. And there also is this backstory, kind of like, or this other story that's going on with the first like Avengers of 10,000 BC, and so, or 1,000 BC. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. But those backstories are kind of like the Doom episodes or issues in Justice League, and they're so well done. So, Jason Aaron, thank you for giving me a ensemble cast that just feels like everybody's gone in time to shine, and I just can't wait to see where you go from here. So that's it for today. Let me know, what have you guys read? What have you guys enjoyed? Let me know down below. As always, people, my name is David Lee. If you like what you've seen here, I have new episodes of My Comic Life coming out Monday through Friday, and I've made it 2 weeks in a row where I have gone Monday through Friday. So, really, yay for me. And I'm thinking about doing an extra episode on Saturday, talking about some more comics, because there's a lot of comics that came out this week, and especially with the snow, when's the better time to, read comics. So, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time on My Comic Life. See ya.